Ratio and rate. Ratio compares things. Rate compares things with different units. If a soccer team has 6 boys and 3 girls, how can we compare them quickly? Math uses ratios. And if a car travels 120 kilometers in 2 hours, that's called a rate. What is a ratio? Ratios compares same types of things. For example, 6 boys and 3 girls can be shown as 6:3. So a ratio compares 2 different quantities, or it can be the same quantity. But the main important thing is that the ratio compares 2 quantities. Also, importantly, it tells us how much of one thing is compared to another thing. Another example would be red marbles, blue marbles. So let's say you have 5 red marbles and you compare them to 18 blue marbles. This is just another ratio. Simplifying ratios. So I'm going to take you through the process. Here is 8:12. 8:12. Now if we divide this by 4 over here, let's divide this by 4. 12 divided by 4 is equal to 3. And then 8 divided by 4 is 2. So this ratio means the exact same as this ratio over here. 8:12 means the same as the 2:3 ratio. This means for every 2 of one thing, there is 3 of the another thing. So the 2 can be cupcakes and the 3 can be mice. And just like fractions, divide both sides by the same number. Remember, just like the fraction lesson, divide both sides by the same number. Let's do a quick challenge, and that is to simplify 10:15. So in order to simplify 10:15, we must divide both sides by 5. Divide by 5. So if you take 10 and we divide it by 5, that is equal to 2. And if we take 15 and we divide it by 5, that will equal to 3. So you want to do is you want to look for the lowest common factor. 10:15 means the same as 2:3. 10:15 can also mean, for example, like 20:30 if you double it. Like that also means the exact same thing. What is a rate? A rate compares quantities with different units. It sounds complicated, but here's some examples that you use in your everyday life. For example, kilometers per hour, rands per item, liters per minute. So kilometers per hour, you're comparing the amount of kilometers you do within an hour. Like when you're driving a car and you're traveling 100 kilometers an hour, you are traveling 100 kilometers in distance for 1 hour. So that is basically what 100 kilometers an hour mean. That's just a quick example. And remember, ratio is the same kind, while rate equals different kinds. Ratio is when you're comparing the same kind of items, and rate is when you're comparing different kinds of items. Rate example. A car travels 180 kilometers in 3 hours. Find the rate. Now, we are given 2 numbers, 180 kilometers and 3 hours. So when they say find the rate, you want to find the speed at which it travels basically. So let's take 180 kilometers and now 3 hours. Now we must divide this number 180 by 3 because 3 is the time. So let's divide it by 3 and that will give us 60 kilometers an hour. So the car's speed is 60 kilometers an hour, and that is the rate. Price per item example. 3 cool drinks cost 24 rand. Find the price of each cool drink. So I'm sure you know this, uses already before in your everyday life. You would take 24 Rand and you would divide it by 3. And 24 divided by 3 is equal to 8. 8 Rand. So it is 8 Rand a cool drink, and most importantly, this is a rate. This is a rate. Not a ratio, this is a rate. Because one cool drink costs 8 Rand. Comparing quantities. If one juice costs 6 Rand and another juice costs 8 Rand, which is better? The cheaper rate wins. This shows why rates matter. Now, final challenge. Is 5 apples is to 2 oranges a ratio or a rate? It is a ratio because we are comparing quantities. Comparing quantities. Remember, it's a ratio because we are comparing 2 quantities in 5 apples and 2 oranges. 20 Rand for 4 burgers. I wish I can get 4 burgers for 20 Rand. But this is a rate because we are comparing money. Because we are comparing money per burger or price per item. Before I finish the video, I just want you to remember these 2 important things. Remember, ratio compares same things, while rate compares 2 different units. If you know the difference, you've already mastered the topic. Okay, that's the end of the video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and see you in the next one.